In this video, we will show you how to replace your washer fluid tank on this Buick Enclave. This will be tucked in behind your left front wheel well. Let's get into it. With the wheel out of the way, we have a clear view of our wheel well liner. We can start removing that. Let's start down along the bottom front corner. You'll find that you have several T20 screws to remove. Two along the bottom. Make our way right up here. And now we can continue making our way around. We've just got 4 more of these here. Now we can move along to some push clips. Now we can start removing some push pins from the area. To remove your push pins, they're all pretty much the same. Carefully start removing the center to unlock it, and then you can remove the outer portion as well. A quick inspection, and you can go ahead and set that aside and move along. Get that dislodged, now we can move up. Got our final one up on the top here. Now we can remove our fender liner. Give this a little wiggle here. Slide it out of place. Now that we have the wheel well liner out of the way, we have a clear view of our washer fluid reservoir and our pumps. If you still have washer fluid inside of the reservoir, it's a good idea to drain that out into a proper collection receptacle, and typically you can reuse that fluid. To be able to do so, we'll be using a small hose and bring it straight down to a collection receptacle and reuse it. If your hose is stuck in place, use a small pick. Just be careful not to damage it in any way. Just break this free. There we are. Now we can move along to our 3 electrical connectors. To dislodge the electrical connectors, you will find that you have a small locking tab for each. Carefully pull it away and then lift this up and out of place. A quick inspection for corrosion. Assuming it looks good, you can set that wiring harness aside and continue on to the other 2. This one down here. Now that this is finished draining, we can continue on to removing this. We'll remove our other hose from the opposite pump. When you're removing these, it's important to pay attention to where each one of the hoses goes. On the end of each of the hoses, you'll find that the connector is a different color. At this point, you'll have 3 mounting nuts. There's one up high out in the open, one down along the bottom, and one up diagonally towards the front. Let's start at the bottom. Use a 10mm here. This one up here. Now we can remove our final piece of mounting hardware. Keep in mind, this is the last thing holding this in. We also want to mention, as you start pulling this out and away, you want to make sure that you pull the hoses out of their mounting point that's up along the neck of the washer fluid reservoir. Carefully start pulling this down. We're being careful not to put a tug on our hoses. Just have to twist it a little bit. You can see where the hoses come through right here. Take them one at a time and slide them right on out of there. Now we'll carefully start bringing this down and out of here. I'm just going to have to twist it along the way. A little bit of gentle persuasion. And there it is, friend. Okay, friend, let's get ready to install our brand new washer fluid tank. Pay attention up along the top. This is where the cover will be located. To put this into the vehicle, it's easiest if you were to remove this first, but it's important to make sure nothing falls inside. With that said, carefully stretch this out of place. We'll set it aside and then cover the top with some tape. At this point, we can start putting this into the vehicle. We'll start sliding it up, but we also have to pay attention to our washer fluid hoses. They need to slide through their corresponding hole. Now that we have it up in this position, we can continue on with our 2 hoses. We'll put those into their corresponding slot. Continue sliding the tank into the original position, aligning it with all 3 of its mounting studs. Let's get those mounting nuts on there. We'll start them on and then we can snug them up. Just make sure those are nice and tight. Continue on to connecting in your electrical connectors. Got our forward one here. It's the smallest of the 3. We'll move along to the forward pump. This is the larger connector, and the rearward pump is the smaller connector of the 2 pump connectors. Have a quick look at these. The bigger one there. Listen for a click. Now it's time for our hoses. We have the black connector. We'll slide that onto the forward pump. The gray connector on the rearward pump. Double check to make sure everything's secure. Now we can continue on to our front inner fender liner. We'll take this and slide it into position. You will find that it slides under the rearward liner, so you just want to pull down on that a little bit so you can slide this in and behind. Align all of your push pin holes and put in your push pins. To install your push pins, install the outer portion and then lock it in with the center. This one in here. There we go. Another one just below it. Get this one just below it. At this point, we've got all of the push pins in here. Let's get the last two down along the bottom. Now we can continue on with our 7 T20 torque screws. Double check to make sure it's completely secure. Once you've confirmed that everything's completely secured, let's continue on with reinstalling our wheel. Start on all 6 of your 22mm lug nuts. We'll bottom these out, get the wheel back on the ground, and we can torque the wheel. With the wheel safely on the ground, we'll torque these to 140 foot-pounds in a crisscross manner. Torqued. Now let's make our way under the hood. Along the driver's side under the hood here, we'll continue on with putting the cap on our washer fluid reservoir. Go ahead and take that and stretch it over into position. Now once you've done that, the next thing you want to do is add the required washer fluid to your tank up to the maximum. Once you've done that, continue on to reinstalling the cover, close the hood, and then test the washer fluid pump functionality. Aside from that, thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.